Can't tell if this is on. There we go. It was frozen. It was frozen on my end, but it's on. It's on and popping. What's going on? What's up? Shout out to everybody. Appreciate everybody for being in the building today. Appreciate everybody being in the building. Make sure you hit the like button whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Back with another double hitter. You know I do 2 a days on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday night schedule, 8 p.m. EST. And we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Going to be getting into this thing that's kind of going viral all over the black YouTube streets. A woman whose name I didn't know, before all of this. Eboni K. Williams on the grill. I was familiar with that channel. Mark Lamont Hill. Mark Lamont Hill is one of the people that's holding forth over there. Once I mention his name, you know what kind of stuff they talk about over there. Yes, the woman, she was being interviewed by Yama Van Zant. No, she was interviewing Yama Van Zant. Yama Van Zant hit her with a question after she was going through the whole normal spiel of there's no where all the men at, there's no men on my level, blah 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 blah. And Yama Van Zant asked her the simple question: would you date a bus driver? Would you date a bus driver? She kind of like melted down, hot wired, then eventually said, no. Well, if he owns the bus. And then they went back and forth and they talked on that. And it sparked quite a bit of conversation. It was it reeked of what we used to see all the time on Kevin Samuels' show, where women are gauging their supposed value to us based on masculine criterias. She's a lawyer. She deserves a lawyer. Okay, cool. But if he don't want you, he don't want you. Because you're probably acting and conducting yourself in a relationship like a goddamn lawyer. Don't know man lawyer, don't know man who worth anything, want to be with a professional interrogator. But we got to get into all of that. We got to get into all of that. Strap on in, lock on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's going on? What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let me shout out to Early Bird Squads before I bring folks up. Well, actually, only one person in the back, a familiar face who's already been requested. Familiar face has already been requested from from the audience. But no, we're about to be getting into this. But real quick, shout out to Hoop Jargon. They had a great conversation with Hoop Jargon on the morning show. Had a great conversation with Hoop Jargon on the morning show. He came up and joined me and Perfect Billis. We had a great conversation. I highly recommend that. That was one of the better streams. One of the better streams with an important conversation. Important conversation. Shout out to Deacon Dave. Shout out to Captain Cisco. Says, I've been waiting for you, Bernard Riley. That sounds weird. Jeff Short in the building. Shout out to you. He says, what's up, Bernard? In chat, Mississippi in the building. Oh, wait, hold on. Now I got to bring up Game Changer. Game Changer. Don't Mississippi people, don't they eat mud? Hello, mic check on Game Changer.
No, they eat dirt. They call it red clay, but it's dirt. They actually put dirt in their mouth and they think it's a good thing. That's Mississippi.
That's Mississippi. They eat dirt. I mean mud. Mud or dirt? What did you say?
No, they call it clay.
They call it clay, but it's actually
it's
what?
Dirt.
It's dirt.
It's dirt. It comes up from the ground and it's dirt.
Why are they eating it?
It's dirt. They eat dirt. They eat dirt.
Why?
The dirt-eating Mississippi people. And I don't know, because they're from Mississippi. I guess they come from Atlanta, edible dirt, but that don't mean you should eat it, but they do. And then they say stuff like, M-I, cricket letter, and the letter S isn't even cricket. They just say stuff because they're from Mississippi, Bernard.
When I hear somebody say they was born and raised in Mississippi, in my mind, and I can hear a little background when I'm talking, but I don't know, turn down your elaborate studio sound effects and stuff. Anyway, when I'm in Mississippi, when I hear somebody say they was born and raised in Mississippi, you want to know what I instantly think? That they spent the first 8 or 9, they never wore a pair of shoes for the first 6 years of their life. They just ran outside in that dirt that they eat, and that's just what I think. When I think it ain't still like that.
I don't know.
Still like that down
I don't know if they grew up and stuff like that, but I do know that they eat dirt.
Okay, all right. GD in the building.
Cricket.
Yeah, GD in the building. JT. Captain Cisco, Too Damn Snazzy in the building, Osama Abdu. Who else we got in here? Nobility at best. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Cut the music. All right. So here I am covering this story. Here we go. You covered this thing early this morning. I did not get a chance to watch it, at least not really, but I just ducked in on a few parts, and you had a lot to say, and your angle on this was interesting. I noticed it seemed like you was arguably more critical of Iyama Van Zant than what just the parts I heard. Then probably what you were even critical. I mean, obviously, he was critical of the Eboni K. Williams chick that basically says she ain't messing with a bus driver unless he owned the bus. You was critical of her, but you seem like you was more critical of Iyama Van Zant. And I think more people are probably letting her off the hook. And I think she's floating under the radar, but you was pulling up old clips when Iyama was, a little younger, not that young, but I guess a little younger, or some years ago. I'll just say some years ago. And she was, I guess, echoing the same sentiments of the Eboni K. Williams chick. And then, but now she's singing a different tune. Speak on that one while I get ready to pull the clip up when I load the chamber. Go ahead and speak on that. Give us, some of your views on what you were saying earlier in the morning show that you did.
Okay, well, I didn't say this in my show. I touched on it, and I promised to come back to it, but I didn't get a chance to do it on my show. So I'll do it now. The thing is that Iyama Van Zant recognized the change in times. Since she did that original thing that I quoted, Kevin Samuels, had his rise and, unfortunate end. But she did learn that there is a group of men out there who feel a certain way, who feel that, who feel that the problem is largely with women's outdated standards. When Kevin Samuels talked about average at best, I'm pretty sure Ayala Van Zant has seen that. And she's
Mm-hmm.
come to the conclusion since then, like, oh, these women have ridiculous standards. And then if she's a fan, she watched over and over again how overweight women were demanding guys make 350K or something like that. So she's come to that conclusion since her own show.
Mm-hmm.
And then later she, and then she, really just expelled that on Eboni, the Ebony woman, when she said, hey, maybe you should consider dating bus drivers. So basically, she was doing her Kevin Samuels routine. That's what she was doing. She was doing her Kevin Samuels routine on this woman, and she did it wrong.
What was wrong with how she did it? And just first, I when you said those large women demanding, requiring men that's making such, like it was women 300 pounds, like basically saying a man got to make $1,000 a year per every pound she weigh, like that they wanted 300,000 a year, 1,000 for every pound. Like it was bad on Kevin Samuels' show. And on my show this morning, I talked about how the things that come out of the manosphere, they seep over into every conversation now. That's why when the stream was titled "Is the Black Manosphere Working?", if one of the main goals and objectives was to just get the word and the message out, I think that's definitely mission accomplished, because on a very woman-friendly, woke-ass news network where they're saying men can get pregnant and all kind of stuff that they say over there, two women just having a conversation about male-female dynamics, and one of the women is doing a lightweight diet. Kevin Samuels, she's Kevin Samuels, and I can't even say the word. I'm trying to make a verb out of Kevin Samuels, but
Yeah, you just put ing out of it.
Yeah, one chick was getting Kevin Samuels. I think I said it right, but yeah. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's unavoidable, and it's inescapable. So that was the interesting part of it. She owe a shout out. She stole his shit. No, but anyway, but yeah, no, that was the Kevin Samuelized. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, two women on basically on a feminist network. Like when somebody getting Kevin Samuelized. Thank you, too damn snazzy. I think that's what I was trying to say. But damn it, what would you I just brain farted because I rambled for too long. I forgot what the next thing I was going to say. But you was talking about how you could just jump back in if you ain't clear your thought. But I forgot what I was about to ask.
No. So basically that's what Ayala is doing. Ayana is doing after, and the thing is it's too late. I don't mind people who want to correct their behavior, but you have to address the bad behavior of the past. You have to say that everything I said before in my previous 68 years of living was complete and total crap, including the stuff I did to my kids. And now I'm going to move forward. See, this reminds me of Domino's Pizza, right? So maybe like 5-10 years ago, Domino's Pizza get a new CEO, and they changed the whole Domino's recipe, right? But you have to admit that you've been serving crap. You have to admit that prior to that, you have been serving pizza shit. You have been serving shit pizza for quite some time, and admit that, and then maybe we'll try your new pizza. Because until you eat that, and you recognize the previous Domino's recipe as shit, then we're gonna think that you're just making new shit.
I just had that exact moment. Me and my woman, we went to go see Mario, the Mario movie. It was all right. Okay. Here's the deal. We went to the movie, and I love movies popcorn. I damn near go to the movies for the popcorn. I just like I can eat popcorn just regular, but something about the movies popcorn, it just hit different. So anyway, we pay for the popcorn. Well, when we're paying for the popcorn, they say it's an extra. They said for an extra $1.50, you can get real butter on your popcorn. I was like extra. I was like, I normally just get extra butter because I like the butter. There's something about that butter. Yeah, that's the movie I go to. I was like, no, I normally just get extra butter. I just want extra butter. Yeah, but there's an extra. There's $1.50. I think the extra butter was normally like 50 cents or something like that. But no. They saying, but for real butter, you can get $1.50. So I'm sitting there like, okay, this shit. What when I be getting extra butter, paying extra 50 cents, sometimes $1 for extra butter, when I've been paying for that all this damn time, what the hell was it if now all of a sudden y'all saying real butter? Like
No. It's worse, Bernard. It's worse. They're trying to make a monkey out of you, is what they're doing. So you know
okay.
what they did? They've always been serving real butter. Why? Because I see it. That's why you like movie theater popcorn so much, because it has real butter. So say you go to the store and you get yourself some Pop Secret or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then you pop it, and then it comes with that like frozen powder nasty shit that's in a pack that's supposed to melt a little bit in the microwave. That's the fake butter. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
like that as much as the movie theater that provided you with real butter all these years. So what they did was they said, okay, we're going to serve fake butter. And then if people want the same butter that they've been eating all this damn time, they got to pay. So they're charging you for the same shit, Bernard. They're charging you for the same butter that you've been eating for all your damn life. That you see that? It's a shenanigan.
It's the same product. They just upcharging it. But I still feel more offended in just the sales tactic of it.
Oh yeah, it is offensive. That's what I say.
Real
It's worse. What they're doing is
real
worse.
butter.
This is how they take
McDonald's,
$1.50 from you.
yeah, McDonald's did that. They said we are now, our new nuggets with real actual whole white meat. Okay, so it's real white meat in the nuggets. It's real meat in the nuggets now. What the fuck was in there before? But anyway, yeah, it's wild out there. It's wild out there. But we're about to go ahead and get into the clip. We're about to get into the clip. Enough of the perfunctory, as they say. They saying in the chat room saying they can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, no, they've been getting me. But that movie butter popcorn, real or fake, it hits different. It hits different, man. But all right, let's get into it.
So blessed to have you here with us today on the Griot. I want to start, dear, with something that we share. Which is that we are both attorneys by trade. You are a lawyer, you have a legal background. And as women in the law, Ayanla, do you believe that lens, that legal lens, informs our perspective and the way we show up in the world as women?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I got out. Yeah, very, very masculine, very intellectual, almost stripped and robbed of humanity. It really shows the dichotomy between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
All right, now real quick. Now you've been kind of letting Iyama have it on this one. I watched some parts of your live stream earlier today. Mm-hmm. She's, at face value, if you only heard her talk right there, I look at that and I say, that's good. That's a good thing, because I always said that if a chick is feminine, she's not going to be comfortable at a masculine job. And that's part of the fake news and the nonsense they try to spin, that, oh no, we masculine, we aggressive, we can assertive. That we gonna get into that. We masculine, aggressive, and assertive, and because we have to be, because our jobs require us to be, and then we come home and we bring it home and blah 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 blah. And that's why we act the way that we act. They get into that whole little spiel, but it's like, nah, if you actually a feminine woman, you're not gonna seek masculine professions that put you in a place where you're going to be arguing and fighting and tussling and engaged in masculine stuff all day. You're just not gonna you're not gonna seek that out. And if you do seek it out and you do get it, and you find out that it's weighing too heavy on you because you're having to do a bunch of manly stuff that you don't like to do, then you end up getting out of there. So there's a part of me that just hears that in a snapshot and says, okay, yeah, I see that. But at the same time, there was, as you pointed out earlier in your show, something that I didn't even catch because I forgot, because I didn't pay that much attention to her. But you pull clips of earlier stuff where she was basically sounding just like the Eboni K. Williams chick. So there are a certain amount of cap in her whole tone. I mean, are we calling cap on everything, or just the Kevin Samuels switch up that she's trying to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even call it cat because she believes it now, but I do. I mean, we got to understand the damage that she caused, in her melee,
Mm-hmm.
for all of these generations. She caused it to her kids, she caused it to her previous husbands, she caused it to each and every single person that she influenced with her show in this particular direction. Like this must be addressed before she can be qualified as a feminine
Ah.
woman. You can't just turn it off. It's kind of like Napoleon saying, yeah, I was a wild boy when I was young, sorry about that. You can't just do that. With some people it's too much damage. You have to undo decades and decades of damage. And but the real cap is how she came at Ebony now. It's
Mm-hmm.
or the real insult is, oh, you're wrong. You were wronger when you were 40. You were
Mm.
wronger. At least she looks worth a damn. You were wronger when you.
I'm sorry, that was funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just true. You.
Yeah, because I was about to say that's what I was going to say later on. Ebony do got a leg to stand on, even though the clock is ticking. If the clock haven't run out completely, but she at least looked good. So take her PhD or law degree ordered off the table. I'd imagine at some point in her life she can pull something. She can pull something now. She can pull
Mhm.
something now. At least she had that going. But
Oh
it's
no, I
funny.
mean, if niggas is marrying these chitlin bitches from Mississippi, then they pretty much would marry anything.
I know, but but you could just look at the Ebony K. Williams chick. You could just look at her at a glance. Putting her back on the screen, you could just look at her at a glance and say her standard is higher than, as you call them, the chitlin chicks. Um, you know, she got lawyer money, and she making entertainment, whatever she make doing being a media personality. She got that kind of money, and she generally looked good. The clock ticking because she said she about to turn 40 or something. Clock is ticking on her having extremely high standards if the clock ain't ran out already. But either way it go, she's the type of dudes that come up that will save a chitlin circuit chick. That ain't even know she wants some dude. Like, I mean, I would argue that a dude making a flat 100K, make $105,000 a year. I think she say no to that. Like a bus driver, that's obviously a non-starter. I'm looking at her to listen to how she talking, how she break things down, and how she look, and she probably still view herself as no different than how she was at 22. She want. I would say a dude got to be making high into the hundreds of thousands, 400,000-500,000, something like that, and have high status and be noticeable, notable and recognizable, and the whole works. So her shit through the roof. That, not to mention with the fact what you about to say coming up pretty soon. Not to mention what you about to say coming up pretty soon. How she said men have had to tell her on dates that, hey, we ain't in no damn courtroom because stop with this interrogation. So she masculine as hell, probably bitchy as hell. It's like it's standard high as hell. But the dude that would actually rock with a chick like her, or that look like her, that got her accomplishments, like dudes who are on equal status as her, they ain't fucking with it. They not fucking
Well,
with no lawyer interrogation chick.
well,
It ain't happening.
it's not even that. I mean, that's a mask. That is something that she does deliberately. She self-sabotages deliberately in order to feel justified in her current relationship status.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is, and the reasons why she's masking this, the reasons why she's being over aggressive and things like that on dates and something like that, and she's self-sabotaging on the dates. The reason that she's doing this is because she's masking a horrible truth. And the horrible truth of her, and unfortunately, so many women like herself, is that she has what's called a dead vagina. She has a dead vagina, and I did a video on this. I'm uploading it now as we speak. Actually, I did it right before the show. And the reason that she has a dead vagina is because when your income as a woman exceeds the income of the man that you are capable of attracting, then your vagina becomes dead. It's unfortunate but true. So say that with her looks and everything that she has going on, absent income, she has the ability to attract a man that makes $250K. Once she makes $251, or excuse me, 250K and one
Plus one.
and a penny,
Yeah.
then it becomes a dead vagina. And then or when her looks diminish past what her income is, then once again it becomes a dead vagina, because she's going to ask for more than she is worth. So there's really nothing you can do for her. You know, she's going to ask for 350K based on her income of 300K, you know, which makes sense. There's, you know, a woman has every right to do that. However, ask lead attorney, would he take her seriously? Now, the answer is no. And here's where the masking comes in,
He'd
right?
smash. He'd smash.
No,
I
and
know.
that's what
I
I'm
know.
getting at, Bernard.
I
That's what
know.
I'm getting at. So here's where the masking comes in, because he would smash, and so would Dennis Sperling. However, it's a temporary arrangement. And not only do they know that, she knows that. So she is self-sabotaging so she can at least give herself an understanding of why these relationships are temporary. But they're temporary, quite frankly put, because your value as a woman don't justify the cost. The lead attorney, Dennis Sperling, these guys can do better.
Yeah, I love that you did, like, you came up with the dead vagina formula. That was nice. We gotta explore that. We gotta explore that a little more. We gotta explore the dead vagina formula. But
Doing a video on, I did a video on it. I'll load that video, and it goes into some detail on that. Yeah.
okay, cool. Rogish the build monger in the building says, get her. She getting got. But shout out to you. Do appreciate you coming on through and dropping 5 on it. All right, let's get back into it.
And for me, it just didn't feed my soul. And so I had to get out.
Oh man, you saying one more thing. I just got to say something real important when you said talking about how if somebody is switching up their tone, they're changing their tune, singing a different tune, their tone and all that. Now it's changing. The post Kevin Samuels era, they got to atone. They basically got to atone for their sins. They just can't change their whole tone. They got to atone for their sins. Very good point. Late great Alan Roger Curry, when he was talking about the difference between somebody who had a change of heart versus a flip flopper. The flip flopper, I mean, the person who just genuinely had a change of heart, you know, the politician who had a genuine change of heart, he comes out and says, yes, I know my position used to be this. I was wrong. Here's my current position. I've evolved on this position. I've thought about it. And this is, this is where I'm at right now. That's what the person says when they're legitimately, had a change of heart. The actual true flip flopper does not do that. Mm-hmm. They just start speaking as if they've always had that position, and want to obscure the history where they used to say all that other stuff, just pretend like it don't exist. That's a huge important point that again we gotta watch out for that, call that out because we're seeing a lot of that now, because the manosphere has affected all conversations at this point. So that's worth pointing out. That's worth pointing out right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and roll it so we can get closer to the money shots.
Okay.
I feel that, and I do feel that I might have heard on a date or two, Ayanla, that we are not in a courtroom, Ebony. You can put the gavel down, and I do feel it can spill over into the way I show up in my womanhood, which is really the center of this conversation today, Ayanla. We want to discuss masculine energy, feminine energy. I do want to start with kind of a news framing, which is that women's rights across the country, especially Black women's rights, they're under attack. Lots of laws are banning abortion abortions. They are regulating what we can and cannot do with our bodies. What do you think happens for Black women when this type of siege is at play and we don't feel we have anyone to protect us?
Now, that's kind of in left field. I actually was planning on skipping that part because she just smuggled in abortion rights and not being protected from the right to terminate a pregnancy, and it's like that ain't got shit to do with that. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing here. I don't know if you wanted to comment on that because that just was out of left field.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, because that's the MO of women like this. She's an awful, disgusting human being, Ebony. But we're used to it because the MO is to establish victimhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's to establish victimhood. Bitch, you had pretty privilege. You had pretty privilege, you had woman privilege, you had Black woman privilege, your whole damn life. And you talking about, oh yes, well, I'm a victim of somebody trying to take away my right to delete babies. You are 40 years old. Ain't no babies in that fucking womb of yours that you have to worry about deleting. Nature deletes your shit. How dare you talk about this? You see, she just wants to establish victimhood. Why? Because her whole damn life, she took victimhood and they gave her free shit for it. You haven't been a victim of shit your entire life, but too many dicks to suck. What problems do you have? That bus driver whose dick you won't suck has real problems. You're not the victim of shit.
Right. Well, the first thing I think we do is we go into anger. We go into anger without a clear ask. Doesn't make sense to be angry unless you got to ask. What is it?
I'm gonna skip ahead. I timestamped it at the 4-minute mark. And yeah, I'm about to, ramble into some womanly, womanese, woo-woo language. It's just gonna get too weird, and she's, I'm about to just skip ahead. About to skip ahead to the part where it got a little interesting.
Somebody said she got frozen eggs. She got eggnog. She got eggnog with rum in it. Like, what the?
And demanding and attachment. And it's killing us. It really is.
So in a recent interview with our dear friends over at the Breakfast Club that went very viral for very good reason, you said that women are being trained to be men in skirts. I will acknowledge, I will say I was triggered. I was a hit dog, and I hollered to the entire production team to get you here today, because I actually think you're right. I think you're right, Iyanla. I do think that I'll just speak for myself vulnerably. When I think of a masculine posture and what I would expect a man to do in my life, two things come top of mind, and they are provide.
You see that?
They are protect.
Go ahead.
Okay, you got to catch it in the right expression. What you see when you see the dimples above the corner of the lip, and between the nose and the corner of the lip, when you see that, what that is the signature. She's had a facelift. She's had a facelift. Shira 7 had the same damn thing. That's why they look like that, and they can't smile correctly. And when their facial expressions is just a little bit off, and they have dimples in places that nature normally don't put them, like underneath the cheekbone, on the side of the face, and they have the additional ones there, that is a facelift, Bernard.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna back up, and you.
Well, just do it in slow motion. I'll tell you, and I'll show you exactly when to stop it.
Jesus Christ. Let's see.
Yeah, you did like 5.
We want to go like at half speed. And I'm gonna turn the volume down because I don't like listening to people talking slow motion because it's weird.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you see that? You see that? You see that?
I'll just speak from
you. Okay, now you see what I'm talking about there, right?
Yeah. I think I got you.
Are being trained to be.
You see? Okay, you see that?
Skirts.
It's right there. right where that line from, right there. Perfect. That's it. That's too deep. You see that? That is what I'm talking about.
That ain't a normal dimple.
No, the normal dimple normally comes from the side. It's normally like on. Okay, so if you follow the line,
she got a face level. Home, you get a face. If your dimple, the dimple is normally at the side of your mouth. You get a facelift that move to dent you up to like the damn near to the cheek somewhere.
Exactly. She had a facelift. Her shit was lifted. So it means that the doctor took the face off, lifted the shit, and then resold the top of her face.
Wow. That's some next level shit. Okay, that's some next level shit that you wow. I was unaware. I wonder if men get facelift. Do they, now that they have hair like from their beard like up way too high on their face or something? Anyway, I don't know. All right, let's play ball. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. I'm sure that plays into, or average, it has to be averaged into the equation with the dead pussy formula. I'm sure that has to get averaged into the equation. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will acknowledge, I will say I was triggered. I was a hit dog, and I hollered to the entire production team.
All right, wait, could you pause it?
Today.
Hold on, yeah. I want to back up some.
Somebody was saying that men get facelifts too. Iman was saying men get facelifts too. The thing about it is that when you get a facelift, it leaves a scar on the top of your head where they dig into your face and lift the shit. Now, the thing and maybe there's new surgeries, I don't know. My information comes from the TV series Nip Tuck from a long last time ago. And women get it because they cover that scar with their hair, as her hair is draped over her face right now. So, but men don't have, Snoop Dogg hair like that. I mean, I guess if you're a dreaded ass dude who you can probably do something like that, but typically men can't really do that because their hairline, it would be like a fucking scar.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it can't be no old ass bald headed man with a facelift scar. That ain't a good look.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's a her thing. And look at her now. Look, don't she look like the Joker? And I'm talking about the Jack Nicholson one. So you see that? That's the lift.
All right.
You with our dear friends over at the Breakfast Club that went very viral for very good reason. You said that women are being trained to be men in skirts. I will acknowledge, I will say I was triggered. I was a hit dog, and I hollered to the entire production team to get you here today, because I actually think you're right. I think you're right, Ayanla. I do think that I'll just speak for myself vulnerably. When I think of a masculine posture and what I would expect a man to do in my life, two things come top of mind, and they are provide and they are protect. And when my lived experience, and I think I'm still relatively young, I guess, but I'm 40 in September. So,
what's so funny?
No, the term relatively, like relative to what? Like and I said on my thing, like, relative to a tree. Like, I mean, like, no, I mean, in age of woman fertility years, it's not really like, yeah, relative to, I guess she's saying relative to, Ayala.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 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 And that's, see, here's the thing. We've talked about this a lot. And I do realize this. Like, they put it like this. There's a certain percentage. There's a certain percentage of men out there that perhaps don't care or don't factor age into the equation that much. But when you get to that point where you're making lawyer money and entertainment money, how many dudes making that much money and got status with it is seriously going to be trying to start something fresh and new with a 40-year-old chick with frozen eggs. It's like Kevin Samuels called it pricing yourself out of the market. You called it you got a dead pussy theory. But it just, everything she say just reeks of that. It basically would come down to it, and this is why they hate the manosphere. It would basically come down to a man who is making that kind of money and do got that kind of status, but still undervalues himself and overvalues a woman. And he's just like, hey, this is a woman that, you know, that still look good, and she could pull up pictures like that when we put up that picture of Marjorie, Steve Harvey's wife, and how she used to be real fine, you know, in that black and white picture. But and they'll get with her. They'll get with her on the strength of that this is an attractive woman, and she wants to be with me. So it's like they're basically a dude would have to not understand where he ranks. For the dude to get with her, to meet all her requirements, he have to truly not understand where he ranked. And that's one thing that the manosphere does a good job at, is letting men know where they rank and where they at and what they can require and what they can demand, what they can expect based off their positioning. And that's one of the main reasons why they like, no, this shit got to be shut down. We can't have them waking men up. We need these simp bailout plans as we get older. So that's
the men that don't understand where they rank typically took a very long time to reach their economic standing, and those guys are typically on the lower end of the six-figure bracket. You know, these are the guys who worked for 22 years as a skilled tradesman, and then like later in their 50s, you know, they became wealthy. But like the lawyer types and stuff like that, the ones who started making six figures at a younger age and then, you know, exceeded to become higher six figures, you know, like Theo, for example. You know, these guys are well aware of their worth, and they don't play that crap. They don't, and that's because they had time to become aware of it. You know, they didn't just, you know, like got their third promotion at FedEx, and now they're making, you know, 120 to 150. And, you know, however, you know, it took them about 20 to 30 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
So they're new to the whole 120 to 150 bracket. You know, these, you know, because she would turn those guys down because she's well above the 120 to 150 bracket. So as far as her own income. So yeah, she's dealing with men who are well aware, with or without the manosphere. These guys are well aware of exactly how much, exactly their worth. And with the manosphere, however, and this is why a lot of women, you know, chilling level women are triggered by it, is because these 150 guys are becoming extremely aware very quickly. All it takes is you take 150 to most anywhere else outside of the West, for a short stint or a vacation, you understand exactly. You understand real quick your worth. You know, like once you meet a 22-year-old without a stove, you understand exactly what your worth is as a low six-figure guy. You know, you understand that real quick. You know, you retired military people, you know, who made a rank of sergeant or, you know, captain or lieutenant or something like that. You know, you understand, but you worked your way from private to get there. You know, you understand exactly where you are at real quick. You know, and yes, you bus drivers who take a trip, you understand exactly where you are at real quick. And you really start looking at women like her a lot different.
I've had some relationships, and I've yet to find a man who has. I think I'm still relatively young, I guess, but I'm 40 in September. So you know, I've had some relationships, and I've yet to find a man who has shown. I mean, this includes even my father, who was absent. I've yet to have a male energy that provided or protected me consistently ever. So I think that I have taken on the reins to protect and provide for myself, because what I'm not going to do, Ayanla, is be without. baby, it's not
Be
happening.
without what?
So that
Be
would
without what?
be without protection, be without protection, and be
Okay.
without the necessities of life.
Okay.
So
All right, now here's the deal. Here's the deal. It goes without saying that somebody like her, and somebody pointed out in the chat room that yes, she's going to say that she's dated all different races of men. She's been around all types of men. She's been in those circles. She got little celebrity media status, lawyer money, the whole works. The whole works. She's a Googleable, practically famous person. She's been in circles upon circles. So it's when she's saying she hasn't met a man that meets the requirement, it's like it's utter absolute bullshit coming out her mouth. She's met those men. It's either one or two things. They get around her, they deal with her, and they don't want her ass for reasons that kind of seep out when she starts talking. You can just kind of hear that she's probably hard to deal with. Or secondly, and this is another theory I go with, she just don't want it. She's she's playing that long game. She like being single and free and making her money and doing all that, but she's blaming men, saying there's no men that met whatever standards or requirements, and she's not going to go without, so she's going to get it herself. And I think that's part of where the manosphere has forced a confession out of a lot of them, where a lot of them have admitted she's lying and she's capping, but a lot of them have admitted that no, they like being single and making their own money and doing their own thing, and they make their money, they do their own thing, and don't try to they don't try to actually get what they're lying saying that they want until basically the clock runs out. When the clock run out, the vagina is dead based off what you said. That's when they actually want that man to come in. They basically want the late in the game simp bailout plan. But overall, I would just go ahead and say that what she's claiming that she hasn't been able to find, she just outright just haven't wanted it. She like being single, and I'm kind of jumping ahead because when she talks about the men she's been with, different races of men, she didn't say I've been with them all, I've been in relationships with them all. She said I've done them all. Like she basically talked about it like this is like from a pure fucking standpoint. I think she's just a modern woman who enjoys singlehood and making her money and popping it off and getting it in and not being attached. Your thoughts?
Those women exist, but no, I don't think that that's her case at all.
Okay.
Many women like her become successful in order to attract a successful man. Like that's the whole MO of being successful. They go to they pretty much, and a lot of women actually go into occupations and fields just so they can put themselves in the proximity of the men that they want to attract.
Okay, but if she hold on, but if she had let's just say she finished law school at 24.
Mm-hmm.
If she and she is attractive right now, facelift and all, so you could imagine she had to be bad as hell at 24 with a law degree around men with law degrees, and she date all races of men, as she's about to say. So it's been options on the table. So that's why I'm going with the theory of she didn't want it. She liked being single.
I truly doubt that she actually became a lawyer at 24.
Yeah.
Earliest a lawyer, especially one with her background, at earliest they do it at their late 20s, and that's if they really just hit every mark, and pass the bar immediately after whatchamacallit. Because how old was dude? Dude who's like he is a catch or something, and all the chicks, CJ King or something like that, what was the name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
right.
yeah, so like late 20s at best. And then what winds up happening is you're at the very, very bottom of the legal totem pole. So to get comfortable in the career, it does take a while, you know.
All right. I could see
Like
that.
I mean, basically, women who do that, women who wait until they're successful to start looking, they completely sacrifice, their looks. They're prime. They completely sacrifice their 20s to become doctors and lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that she started looking for it late in the game, and then those that met whatever requirement that she had, they like, you know, I ain't dealing with your ass. That's more or less your argument on that.
Well, no, they deal with her obviously
I
because
mean, yeah.
she's done a lot of them. So they deal with her on that basis. Guys like that see women like this coming a mile away. You know, they do, they do.
Mhm.
And if I'm very wise. I would bet my wisdom that she knowingly slept with a lot of married men.
Mm. Why do you think she slept with a lot of married men?
Well, guys like that tend to get married, for one, and for two, the qualities that she seek, another better woman have already found in that man, and they aren't lawyers. Like the woman. Okay, so say you have a guy, right?
Mhm.
He is the lawyer, he is the master of the university, dude, but he married a waitress who's fit, feminine, and friendly, and with an extra helping of feminine. She's not a lawyer. However, she was younger, prettier than he is handsome, and he met her volunteering at such and such. She was volunteering, to serve the retarded kids of Compton or some crap like that, right? And his law firm was protecting the retarded kids of Compton, and next thing you know, they got married. And then she comes along, and her job is to, try to make those retarded kids of Compton homeless, and they wind up fucking on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just read from RM just researched and put it in the back that she started college at 16, so she probably could
Okay.
have got her law degree maybe a little earlier. But we do know, and like the longest it take to get a law degree, yeah, them chicks, they do be going to school for like half of their natural life, like, so we do get that, we get that. But
No, if she's a prodigy and she started school young, she may have pulled it off at 24. But still, women like that do not take dating seriously until they reach a certain level of success.
mhm.
They have
All
a goal in mind, and then that's when they actually start taking dating seriously.
right.
But I say that with an invitation, Ayanla, check me. Show me the error of my ways. Tell me how I might be missing it, because I might be.
Okay. I too am an alpha woman. So I understand what that means. And I tell people all the time, I was a horrible mother. I was a horrible mother. I was a great father. And I was a horrible mother because I'd never been mothered. So I didn't know how to affirm.
Just remember she said she taught her sons to stand in it with a black woman.
Yeah, I said this on my show. I don't like repeating a lot, but I said it on my show.
Yeah.
She was a horrible father too.
Yeah.
Like women really just like her, these single mothers are out pretending to be fathers, and they really don't know anything about it, so it just comes off wrong. But no matter what, they like, oh yes, I'm a strong disciplinarian, and because that's what they think fatherhood is. But you as a father know that it's much more to that. There's a balance. There's a balance in wisdom that comes with it. It's not just oh, I just tell them what to do a lot. I instill discipline by making them do shit. But she feels that that's what fatherhood is because she's equating it to like, a football coach or something like that. That's, um, a football coach that pushes his team the extra mile.
Yeah. Now, we can't skate past the alpha woman part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The alpha woman, I technically say there's no such thing. Like it's an ill-defined term. It's an ill-defined term. They're basically they're calling themselves alpha woman, because in this modern world they can remember they can remember information and regurgitate it back on a test and do that until they get a degree, and then they get a job where they do basic clerical administrative work, and it's like that. How, how's that alpha woman? Is like you're like working in a cubicle and making money. So it's like their whole concept of what an alpha woman is. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Have you actually heard them describe this alpha woman thing and what it is? Because when they normally, I suppose they apply it to the business world, and they're industrious and career driven and all of that. But then there's does this apply to they're dealing with men? Like if you're an alpha woman, you want to bait a man, like what the hell? Like how does any of that make sense?
Well, yeah, alpha women and it's not common, but there are certain mammal species that do have alpha females in it. Now the thing about it is that
isn't that normally the species where the woman is like the female is bigger than the male, and sometimes kill the male after they mate and all kind of shit like that? Like, are that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Not necessarily kill them. The species I'm thinking of, and perhaps you have a different example. The two species I'm thinking of that comes to mind is hyenas and is hyenas and bonobos.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the female hyena, though it's not true for bonobos, the female hyenas are bigger than the male hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have an alpha female structure that exists there. But in the bonobos, the women aren't bigger, but they do run it because the bonobos think with their dick, literally. Now, the problem with these species is that they are extraordinarily subordinate to other groups that consist of alpha males. For example, it takes about 19 male hyenas to take down one male lion. And this is true, this is similar numbers are to wolves and with wolves and things like that, where, the alpha is on the male side. So, and it also takes several female hyenas to take down one male hyena. So, these species tend to be very weak. They live off of the leftovers of others. These are scavenger species. Same is true with the bonobos. They're the smallest of the great apes, and quite frankly, in the way that they measure ape intelligence, they're the dumbest. They're dumber than orangutans, gorillas, and chimpanzees, and even bonobos. But yeah, they're the smallest. They're pretty much the weakest of all of them. Their community is fleeting at best, but they're the only, outside of humans, they're the only group of apes that do multiple sexual positions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're the only ones that actually do it human style. Wow.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and they're the only ones that can mate when a chick isn't in menses. When a chick isn't in heat. So, there is that, but you know how they say
they be fucking for fun, huh?
Well, you know how they say the box, the power of the box, that is what the power of the box leads you. It leads you into bonobos. And unfortunately, the Black community is devolving into hyena bonobos. It is. Look at this bitch. Look at her.
No, you just stepped into something right there. The group of apes where they don't have to be in heat, like it don't have to be mating season for them to have sex. They basically have sex recreationally. The group of apes that have sex recreationally, that's the group that the women basically run the show.
Yeah.
It's like they're like the pussy driven apes that let women do whatever they want to do and run the show, and they do whatever the women say because pussy is always on the table. But for the ones where pussy isn't always on the table, it's only on the table when it's time to mate, reproduce. Then the men basically, men are in charge and run the show and do what the males. The males are in charge, run the show, do what the males are supposed to do, and then and then okay, now it's time to mate. That is a job, that is a duty. We got to get it in, bang bang. We okay to see this planet. Now we got to get back to running the goddamn jungle. But the ones that got pussy on the table 24/7, they ain't trying to run shit. They women run them. That is interesting. That is interesting.
It is. I mean, and it really shows, how when pussy control or when the power of pussy goes unchecked, it can turn humans into bonobos. Humans are very close to bonobos on the evolutionary scale. Very much so.
Yeah.
We're close to chimpanzees as well, but we can turn bonobo at the drop of a panty. So we have to be careful, what we allow in society, because bonobo society is all fucked up. They swing from trees and stick each other with the pencil. You have two male bonobos that'll swing from a tree and they call it penis fencing, where they're fencing each other with their dicks.
Ooh.
Now, you may think that we're far from that, but look at the rainbow community and tell me if humans aren't devolving into that shit. Like, do you ever notice how the more the box drags society into feminism, the more closer we are to fucking dick poking each other from a tree, which is LBGTism? I'm telling you, we are devolving into that shit, Bernard.
All right, let's get back to the tape.
How to nurture, how to nourish, how to guide. I knew how to direct, how to demand, how to discipline, and like you said, provide and protect. Those are masculine energies. And the distinction here is men build, women create. So we know how to build. We know how to get to the external and get the work done and drive and push and do it. We don't know how to be still, create it, and allow it to come to us. And I learned that when I lost everything. I learned how to create because I had already built and it all crumbled. The house, the husband, the job, the contracts, the professional career in the world, stripped of it all the attachments, the necessities of life, the creature comforts, until I was stripped down to the bare bone. And then I had to learn how not to build. Build is external. Create is internal. And we as women have the power to create and attract anything we desire.
No, you don't.
But we don't get still.
No, you don't.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because I had it in my notes. I was skipping this part. I was supposed to be skipping it right to when they started getting into the conversation about the bus driver and all of that, because when I listened to that part right there, like, do you at any level understand what she's saying, the difference between building and creating?
No, that's bitch babble. And I said
that's why I was just going to skip it, but go ahead.
No, it's bitch babble. It's bitch babble. See, every now and again, people do stuff like that. Pimps do stuff like that. They do stuff like that to seem wise. And if you confused, they try to make it think that if you are confused, they want to make you think it's because they are over your head. No, they're under it. It's stupid talk. It's stupid talk. I cannot stand it. And I just want to sock the shit out of that dude from Menace to Society every time I hear shit like that. Every time I hear shit like that, make me want to sock the shit out of that nigga.
Yeah. It's nothing to be said there. Sort of like, I think it's a part that I skipped to where she said that women being aggressive or assertive. She said no, it's okay to be assertive. It's just
assertive is not a word. It's just something.
No, but she said women can't be aggressive, but they can be assertive. And I'm like, they're saying this. It's pimp talk. She's saying the same thing. She's just switching it around and making it sound good. So you're absolutely right on that. But yeah, but
assertive is not a real thing, Bernard. It's not a real thing. Like when you take psychology, right? You know, there's aggressive, passive, and then there's passive aggressive, right? And then the fourth one is assertive. But notice how there isn't a combination of assertive and passive, or assertive and aggressive. Ever notice that? And the reason for that is because it's outside of the norm. It's some shit that they added to. It's kind of like when people say emotional intelligence. That's just something that dumbass people say to describe themselves and use the word intelligent in it. It's a made up thing. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like red velvet donuts. It's bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit out there, Bernard. And I'm telling you, that nigga from Menace to Society, he's the chief. He's the chief of bullshit. What the fuck is a double burger with cheese? It's a double cheeseburger. Motherfucker, it's a double cheeseburger. And I'll take a double burger with cheese. Fuck you! I fucking hate you! I hate you! What the fuck is a double burger with cheese? It is a double cheeseburger! I hate that nigga. I can't stand that nigga. What the fuck is a double burger with cheese? It's shit like that piss me the fuck off all the damn time. And this is more assertive. I'm telling you, it's all along the same type of shit.
I never knew until this day what was wrong. When he said, I want a double burger with cheese, and then he repeated, he was like, I'll have a double burger. You're like, motherfucker, I said with cheese. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with that statement, double burger with cheese, but I just finally figured it out. Nobody orders a double burger with cheese. It's a double cheeseburger. Goddamn.
You see why I get so triggered when people say shit like assertive? You see that? It's the same. It gets under my skin, Bernard. It's that double burger with cheese shit. It's that double burger with cheese shit. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate. I wish I see that nigga. The fucking Men's Society nigga. I cannot stand that shit.
That dude didn't even get a name. I don't even think he in the credits.
Nah, he's No, I'm talking about Kane, the one that was eating a banana and said, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. He got a name.
No. I'm talking about the guy. Well, Kane only repeated double burger because dude put the gun on him at the drive-thru and told him to order him a double burger with cheese.
No, but Kane was the first one to say it because he said, I'll take your rims and your wallet and I'll take a double burger with cheese.
Yeah, I mean, the other dude said it first.
No, he said that to force him to order it, and then he got the order wrong, and then he repeated it.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay. All right, now I skipped to the head to where they about to get to the interesting part of the conversation, the part that sort of went viral and everybody talking about it. So we're here now. We're here now. So let me go ahead and play it.
Who I was, and I'm still very alpha, but I'm in my throne and my crown is straight.
Okay. I'm looking forward to straightening my crown, Dr. Ayana. Let me ask you this. Let's get to the logistics, though. We know that Black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayana. We're getting those.
Not exactly any data to show that that's true, that they're earning college degrees faster than anybody else. It was a thing that they were the most enrolled, not the most educated, and all of that was very shaky. The whole, stuff about how educated they are. All that was very shaky information.
Degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayana. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research.
Pause it.
I beat you to it.
Okay.
Go
ahead. Shout out to the Uber drivers. Shout out to the Uber Eats drivers. Shout out to the Lyft drivers. Shout out to the Lyft Eat drivers. Shout out to the DoorDash drivers. Shout out to the OnlyFans people. Shout out to you and me for having a YouTube channel. I mean, when they say the fastest, group of entrepreneurs, it's like, okay, so you do OnlyFans a lot.
Now it's worse than that though. When they say the fastest growing, they're normally talking about percentage increases. So if you're at the lowest with something, and let's say, like I said, I used this analogy before. If a football team goes 2-14, and then and then the next season they go 4-12, they still suck.
Mhm.
They still suck, but they just what percentage increase is that? Isn't there like a 200% increase or
What
something like
was the
that?
numbers again? I was reading
They
German.
went from, I don't know, they went from they won 2 games last year, and then they won 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's 100% increase.
Okay,
And
100%, my bad. So
yeah,
yeah, so that's what they, so that's how they come up with fastest growing, because
because you
obviously the
sucked
team,
before. Yeah.
yeah, if the team that won 13 games now win 15, okay, that's not a 100% increase. That's a smaller percentage increase. So when you're at the bottom and you make any move in any fluctuation, it's going to be a fast increase. Not to mention that when you're talking about business, and a lot of studies have pointed this out, that yes, black women are starting more businesses than black men, but close to 70% of the money that's made from black businesses are from businesses owned by black men. So it's like it's a weak flex just used to throw in black men's face, so where they can create their own, and I understand it, creating your own propaganda and promoting the goodness of your group, but they use it and they put it in the face of men to create some false sense of these women are doing good and y'all not meeting the mark. But really they're trying to, they just got a bunch of LLCs and small solo entrepreneur startups. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you could say you're awesome and all of that, and the men can't keep up. But the truth of the matter is, you have a dead vagina. Like, the lead attorney does exist, and he's single, and you want his dick, and he don't want your pussy long term. That is the actual fact of what's going on. And you can't say, oh, it's because we're killing it so hard. He's killing it harder. He's killing it harder. You want to know what he's not killing? Your pussy. And you want to know why? It's because it's not like, all the accolades aside, you're still a good looking woman for 40. With all of the Frankenstein shit that you had going on to make yourself a decent looking woman for 40. That is what it is. It's not enough to sustain high value penis. It's not.
Fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out earning men
Yes.
in 22
Yeah.
of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it.
okay, that part is an outright lie.
Yeah,
That
well,
part
I
is
said that on my channel too. It is an
okay.
outright
Good,
lie.
good.
And I
I
looked
got
up.
the link. I got no. You probably looked up the same thing I did. Went to Pew
Mhm.
Research. I looked it up. I put the link in the chat so y'all can check it out. So y'all know that I'm not making this up, or the Game Changer's not making this up. But go ahead and explain what you were about to explain about that.
No, no,
Explain the lie in what you said, what she's doing.
no. It says for under 30, and she was saying, like, the major cities. Um, but really, when you look at it, like, here are the cities. Wenatchee, Washington, Morgantown, West Virginia. Okay, so whenever a town is somebody's first name, it's not a major place. Burnsdale Town, Massachusetts, Gainesville, Florida, Naples, let's see, Emoki, Marco Island, Florida, Carlsbad, California, Yuba City, California. I actually know Yuba City. There is nothing there. There is nothing there but apparently 3 high-paid bitches. Okay. New York, New Jersey. Okay, Yuba City is a city that I pass on the way to the Indian gambling casino. It's really nothing there, Bernard. Let's see. Only thing I think of is that maybe some women inherited
But
farms there.
either way, even if it was L.A., New York, and major cities like that, The reason that it's pretty much an outright lie, and those of you who click the link you see in the article, it says in bold print, young women are out earning young men in several U.S. cities. The several, basically 20, I think it's like, 22 out of 250 cities, young women are out earning young men. The utter and absolute nonsense in that is that young women is women and men under 30. Women and men under 30. A waitress who's perky can make $100,000. The dishwasher who work at the same restaurant can make $22,000.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier too. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we on the exact same page with this one. We on the
Yeah.
exact same page with this one. It is automatic. It's automatic that younger women are going to out earn younger men, and that out earning of younger men that younger women do, it runs parallel with the data that shows that younger men are having significantly less sex than younger women. I think like 30 to 35% of men in that age demographic that make less money than the women in their demographic. Well, just 30% of the men in that demographic, they reported no sex, under 30, no sex, like 30% of them, no sex. Where women is like closer to like 10%, only 10% report no sex. So yeah, but even then with that, we're only talking 22 out of the 250 cities that they're talking about. So it's not even the majority. However, it's an outright, it's being deliberately misleading. It's being deliberately misleading on so many levels because, again, we're talking about a lawyer. We're talking about somebody who knows how to read stats, facts, and data and the whole works and know how to look at this and know how to break that. It's impossible that it was just an oversight or a misunderstanding.
Exactly. It was deliberate. And furthermore, it doesn't really include her. She is not under 30. So, which means that on average, men are making more than the women in your age bracket. So now what is your excuse? What is your individual excuse? So you can make an excuse for a woman under 30 who lives in these 22 cities out of hundreds. But even those women could just go with somebody older than them because they're not morons. But, let's put that aside for a second. What is your problem? See, she's just dancing around her dead vagina. Now, I want to just address somebody in the chat room who says, I'm from Yuba City. You are lying. You are lying. Nobody is from Yuba City. That's like somebody saying, I'm from the Sahara. That is not a place. That is not a place that people are. Okay. Tell me if you're from the air, if you're in the Air Force. There's an Air Force base there. That's the only way it makes sense. Nobody is deliberately from Yuba City, and you know it. But my bad. That was a segue. Right. But back to her vagina's dead, and she's trying to make excuses for it. It's dead. Yeah, Beale Air Force Base. Yeah, that's all that's there. So unless you're in the Air Force, you're not from there. You're making it up.
All right. Let's get back to it. But that was a lie. She told a lie.
Said that women are now out earning men yes. in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Iyanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build. When some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned. Notice
she didn't say, I've been with them all. I've dated them all. I've had relations. She said, she basically said, trust me, I fucked them all. That's why I said that she didn't want a relationship. I know you got your theory is that they don't, start actively looking for it until they, already, they in their early to mid 30s when they finally start actually looking. But I still think that sort of runs the same way. Basically, she was just doing a lot of fucking. But anyway, I don't know if you want to say anything on the. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics. They are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not.
They're not in position to
Now, you
protect
see
and
that?
provide based off a lot of
So
the fake
it's a
stats
made-up
that she just
statistic
went
that
over.
she's- Huh?
No, I think we were saying the same thing. They're not in position to protect or provide based off the fake stats that she just made up.
Exactly. I mean, this is all comfort food for her. You know, she has to feel like the majority of the men in the world are losers, and that's why she's not with a winner. But the truth of the matter is, she's not with a winner because she has a dead vagina.
Explain for the people that just made it in here. Explain the dead vagina formula.
So basically, when your earning exceeds your prospective mate's earnings. So if a woman is attractive enough to attract a man that makes 250K, and then she with her own elbow grease, earns 251K, then that is a dead vagina. Now, if a woman is so damn ugly that she can only attract a man that makes minimum wage, and she makes minimum wage, then her vagina is dead too. Now, typically with the extraordinarily attractive women, and I don't classify Eboni as that, but with the extraordinarily attractive women, they tend to make money off of their looks, which means that their money could never exceed their looks. So they're okay until their looks fade. And these are the Vivica Foxes of the world and stuff like that. These are the Lisa Rays who, was an extraordinarily attractive woman in her day. And she was able to find the men that met her economic demands, even though she made a considerable amount of money off of her looks, but she was unable to sustain it. And now she's all, post-wall and shit. And another example of this would be Beyonce. Beyonce made an extraordinary amount of money. However, her money did not exceed her looks, or what she can attract with her looks. And she was able to secure a relationship with a man that made more money. So unfortunately, she's not any of these women. And that puts her in this predicament, going from dick to dick, trying to figure out how come, it's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mr. Tobert in the building, coming through with a $10 super chat. I thought that super chat thing was broken. Shout out to Mr. Tobert dropping a super chat on it. He says, can't step on black men's neck getting to your career and wonder where are the men on my level, shaking my head. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Do see what you're saying right there. You're out in man world trying to out compete men, rustling, tussling, fighting with men. All the whole that's essentially your life. But where are these men? I didn't want to get into, because I normally get into the larger, macro analysis of, even if we accept everything that she's saying, okay, women are making more money. They want to be with a man to make what they make or more. But just the mere mathematics of, if we open the floodgates for women to make as much money as men, like y'all say y'all should make, like y'all march for, like y'all fight for, like y'all burn bras in the streets for, okay, the end result of that is that there are not going to be as many men making more money than you in order for you to get the type of man that you want. That's just the pure numbers. There's no time. Shout out to Thomas Sowell. There are no solutions. There's only trade-off. If you want to live in a world where women can earn money like men, then those women don't also get to live in a world where a large percentage of them are taken care of by men. Yeah, that's just the brute. That's math. The math. That's how the maths. Yeah. But anyway, shout out to Shout out to Too Cool for School in the building. Says BRGC tuition. Absolutely, absolutely. Appreciate you putting 5 on it. Appreciate you putting 5 on it. All right, let's get back into it.
Not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
If
a
he
bus
owns the bus.
That's funny every time how she hotwired and malfunctioned. She hotwired and malfunctioned on that one. When she was asked that question, it was dead silence for a little bit. It was dead silence.
Resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver?
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Would you date
If he owns the bus. If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because this
I'm mad that you got me looking at them high ass facelift dimples that's too high up on the face. but all right. So that's the thing. It took her 5 seconds to answer the question. Would you date a bus driver? She basically said no. Well, no, she literally said no. Then she said if he owns the bus. All right. Here we go with this one. Here we go with this one. Oh shit, Game Changer dropped down and now he's back. All right, here we go with this one. Did you miss anything? Game Changer.
Yeah, maybe like the last 2 minutes, but I don't know what you said.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. But no, okay. Well, I just played the part. Okay, I'll replay this part right here. I was rambling going off. I didn't even notice that you weren't here. But all right. Here we go.
Not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver?
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's
all right. 5 seconds. 5 seconds to answer the question. Would you date a bus driver? She responded with if he owns the bus. All right. Where I'm at on this one is that it's going to come a time real soon where that's probably okay. Let's lay this out. I don't know what bus drivers make. When I think of a truck driver, we're talking about somebody who can make 6 figures. We're talking about a bus driver, we're thinking of a big yellow school bus driver. So we're thinking 50K with that. Is that about a fair assessment?
I think it's around that. I wasn't thinking of school bus driver so much as I was thinking about like public transit bus driver.
Okay, yeah, public transit.
I think that they make the same. The school bus.
Okay, so that could be around 60K. Okay. There is a certain type of woman that's fine enough, look good enough, status enough, whatever the hell, to where she could say, nah, I think I can do better than that. Okay. But then it comes a time where it's like, okay, you clearly aren't doing better than that. So do you assess a woman like this, law degree, lightweight famous, probably making good money. Who knows? She probably, for all we know, she could be scraping close to 7 figures. But let's just put her somewhere in the hundreds of thousands. 250,000. Who knows? Do you say her lane is a bus driver that makes 65K, 60K? Would you say that? And he's gone. I didn't have the screen up, so I couldn't see that he was there. I couldn't see whether he was there. GC having some technical difficulties. Now, here's the deal. This is where I'm at with this. I am willing to say that it may very well be possible that this particular woman's lane is not a bus driver, that she could probably do better than a bus driver. I'm willing to say that. However, I'm also willing to say that whatever it is that she's requiring, I guarantee whatever it is that she would require to actually be in a committed relationship that she would actually respect, I'm also willing to say that that ain't her lane either. So I wouldn't even. So I'm not even going to hop on that, knocking it all the way down to a bus driver. I guarantee somebody who has a trade of some sort, that makes good money, that can make six figures, that could be like the Blue Henry, as Kevin Samuels called it. You know, there's the carpenter who's swinging a hammer on the job. All right, there's a carpenter who just shows up and swings the hammer. Then there's a carpenter who goes and gets the full floor plans, get a 200-page blueprint, and gets, you know, gotta take the money from the person that he's building for, gotta look at the blueprint and do the math down to every nail it's going to take to get the job done, and know the total cost that it's going to cost to build that house, the total cost of labor, every part down to the nail, and basically process that whole job from top to bottom, beginning to end. Like, that's a carpenter who can make, you know, $200,000. That's a carpenter that can make, you know, $150,000. That's the man who's running the business. That's the Blue Henry, as Kevin Samuels called it. You know, high earning, not rich yet. That's somebody who could potentially be rich. But I can guarantee if he's still, you know, he's managing, he's hiring people, I guarantee he's still showing up to work dirty. You've seen carpenters when they get off the job, they got all that damn equipment on them. They dirty, they scruffy as hell, muddy, clunky ass boots. I've done that kind of work. I've been, you know, in like that little crawl space area of the house and laying down. It can get a nasty, dirty job unless you're doing like the finish aspect of the job, like, you know, the house already built together. You just putting together the bathroom and making it look cute. You know, putting on, you know, if you're doing that part, if you're doing the finish work, making shit look cute, that's clean work. But if you actually doing the building of the actual house, they ain't trying to mess with it. I put the link in the chat, by the way, everybody. They ain't trying to mess with that, even if he is making $100,000. So I'm willing to say a bus driver who make $50K, I'm willing to say that ain't her lane. But I'm also definitely willing to say that what she's required from her lane, and GC in a very you know, roundabout way, you know, he used two examples. If somebody, because, you know, I'm looking at her law degree. Okay, let's take somebody who's around the same age as her, lead attorney in his early 40s. I hate that he used an example of somebody that we know, but just seriously. Lead attorney, a good looking, in shape, early 40s lawyer. He ain't trying to mess with this chick. He ain't trying to mess with this 40-year-old alpha female chick. But I guarantee that's what it will require. That for her to be in a relationship that she actually respect, it would have to be with a man who would basically have to lower his standard to be with her. It's like if she gets with the man she actually qualifies for, in her mind, she's lowering her standard. But if she gets the man that she actually wants, he would have to lower his standards to be with her. And that's the conundrum that they're in. And that's why they pull out all these fake stats, because they need to believe that these men don't exist. That's the only way they could justify their own existence. And I can more or less wrap it up right there, but we're going to bring up, I don't know what happened to GC, but we are joined by Lil Big Nate in the building. Joined by Lil Big Nate.
What
and Big Kev.
What up,
what's
Menard?
going on? What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? What y'all got on this?
What's up?
I mean, these empty vessel, hateful, black-hearted, black feminist women. They are, I'm not talking about black women. I'm talking about leftist, feminist, black-hearted nightmare whore, black females. These empty vessel bitches. This woman had innumerable opportunities to get married. I can imagine when she was in her 20s, this is a pretty old bitch. I can imagine 15 years ago, she had every conceivable type of black men trying to talk to her. She opted to fuck with the jawline niggas she wanted to fuck with, men that were as or more attractive than her, and men who had no chance of ever making a commitment to her. She gave herself to those men over and over and over again. The creator intends for women to do two things. Two. If you're a 5th grade social studies teacher, there's nothing wrong with that. The creator never intended that for you. If you're a pharmacist, congratulations. That's a hard profession for anyone to get into, all the technical jargon you have to be familiar with medically. Congratulations, I'm happy for you, but your creator never intended that for you. You could be the head of human resources at State Farm Insurance. Congratulations. There's nothing wrong with that, but your creator never intended that for you. The creator intended two things for women. Two. He intends for you to be a wife and a mommy. And these fucking leftist Democrat black women give zero consideration to either one of those things. They give zero consideration to finding a husband. They are misogamists. I'm not talking about all black women, I'm talking about black women on the left. They are haters of marriage. So they give zero consideration to one of the intentions of the creator for them. They don't care about husbands. They don't think about them until they're looking for one out of desperation. And then they give zero consideration to the circumstances they bring their children into the world with. Black babies, almost all of them, are had out of happenstance. I just happen to be fucking this nigga. He just happened to get me pregnant. And now I'm going to happen to have a kid. And I'm going to parlay his good sex into a fucking family. This is how these lunatics conduct their affairs. I'm sorry, but what's his name? Shit. Dirty folks is right. They're children. Women are children. They need guidance. They need instruction. They need an umbrella of cover over them. If they don't, they will destroy themselves. And despite being a pretty old bitch, not like pretty old, but attractive and old, there's still a million niggas in her DMs she will not give any consideration to because of the simple fact they are pursuing her. They're telling how pretty she is. They're telling how wonderful she is. She wants nothing to do with those men. All she wants, she has priced herself out of the market and she's aged out of the market. She could easily get a man. She could go to Ray's Supper Club in whatever fucking city she lives in and easily get a man. No nigga's good enough. None of them. You cannot make women like this happy. Fuck them.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, while Nate was talking, I did look it up. The initial goal was to try to pull up see if it was some younger pictures of her. See how she looked when she was younger. But what popped up is something that said her net worth. Now, I don't be digging into people's personal shit, but I mean that's literally. I mean, when you type in her name, it says Eboni K. Williams net worth. That's the first thing they prompt, and it say $3 million. Her net worth is $3 million. So, like I said, and I'll float this with the Game Changer. This is what I said when you was going in and out or whatever was happening with your connection or whatever. Maybe you had something to do. Who knows? This is what I said to the question that was put out there that Yama put at her and made everything go viral and asked her would she date a bus driver, and it took approximately 5 seconds for her to come up with an answer. And she said yes if he owned the bus. So basically she's saying no, but generally no, she won't date a bus driver. This is what I said. I said her lane is probably not a bus driver that make 50 to 60K. I would say that's not her lane. But what her lane actually is out of her league. Because I said that based off her just making 250 to 300K. Now, if she got a net worth of 3 million, that don't mean she make 3 million a year. But when you throw in a net worth of 3 million, is one of the questions is probably, how did Eboni make her money? It says before she came on the show, Eboni was a successful and busy lawyer, author, and broadcaster. Okay, so she's had a successful career. She got $3 million net worth. I can reach across the aisle far enough to say, okay, a bus driver, that ain't her lane. But wherever her lane is, even if her lane is a guy who's 40 and making $300,000 a year, a successful lead attorney type, he don't want to deal with her as long term or seriously, other than probably just hooking up with her. So wherever she's putting her lane, the guy that if that guy gets with her, he would have to lower his standard to be with her. But if she gets the guy that she actually qualifies for, in her mind, she would be lowering her standard. If she gets with the guy she qualifies for, she thinks that's lowering her standard. But if she get what she want, that guy would have to lower his standard to be with her. Especially if she's saying he got to be having net worth somewhere in the millions, like where hers is. So that's again, that goes back to what Kevin Samuel says. Nate just referenced it, pricing herself out of the market, or you said the dead pussy formula. Her dead pussy formula is really skewed with her making $3 million if that's what she's requiring
Bernard,
to make.
I have
go
a
ahead.
question. This woman works at the Griot. The Griot is a completely failed enterprise that has been attempted to be sold several times. No one would buy it. It is a failed enterprise. Almost every black man at the Griot is gay. That's why she's angry. That's why she has that smirk on her face. None of her coworkers want to fuck her. All the black men she works with are gay at the Griot. That's the problem. Sorry.
All right, go ahead, GC. If you're there, if everything is solid. Yeah, I don't know. Something going wrong with Game Changer. All right, well, Big Kev in the building. Go ahead. You have the floor. You have the mic. What you got on this?
Well, you make some good points, little big thing. But I wouldn't go so far as to call women children because number one, if all women are children, technically means that all of us men that are sexually attracted to women are engaging in pedophilia. And I don't know.
No.
Yeah, come on.
That's a
come
stretch,
on.
bro.
I understand.
That's a stretch, bro. Come on now.
But number two, little big Nate. If you ever read the book Anatomy of Female Power, you would actually understand that that's actually one of the fundamental ways that men are manipulated. Is women weaponizing either their lack of physical stature compared to men, or their incompetence, basically using their incompetence as a weapon against the men. Again, you don't have to necessarily coddle them because coddling them is how we got to this situation in the first place. You guys are just like be willing to enforce some boundaries, like, hey, you're out of line.
Who said anything about coddling them?
Yeah, I don't believe we should coddle them either.
Yeah. No, I'm saying when you said that women are children, I'm saying like that's how they got this way is because of us treating them like children. I'm saying that's how the situation got this bad.
Well, no, what I mean by women are children is their inherent need for instruction. Women require instruction. This is why I take such issue with the pro-blacks and other black men on the left. If you cared about black women the way you say you do, you would correct them. They are literally destroying themselves through their personal decision making. That's the biggest problem in Black America. Black women who suffer no cultural consequences for their terrible personal decision making. They have complete carte blanche to do whatever they want in their lives, and they ruin themselves and they drag our entire race down with them because they're not supposed to be in charge of their life. A man who's concerned with their outcomes is supposed to be over them. But When you're independent, the very term means under no one's authority or control. You can't have a marriage with a woman who will not let you exercise a modicum of control over her. Remember, she's independent. You cannot control her, and you will have no authority over her. So therefore, there's nothing you can do with them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, this is sometimes too why like I laugh sometimes when we try to like have these discussions, you know, and I'm not saying everybody on the left does it, but what I'm saying is that like a lot of these people who like live in these feminist echo chambers, try to say, oh, like, this try to encourage so-called black men to be anti-patriarchal. It's like, well, first of all, number one is, when have we ever been quote unquote patriarchal? Number one. And then number two, in the situations that we have, has it led to an increase or a decrease in the quality of life? Because even when these people try to poo-poo black men being so-called patriarchal, when they look throughout history, like such as the Reconstruction or like the desegregation of the military or like the Civil Rights era, I'm like, or like the building of like, Black Wall Street, I'm like, you're pointing to scenarios in which so-called black people made huge strides in economic and political progress. So isn't that the fucking point? You know what I mean? Like, and then on top of that, I'm like, where's the evidence suggesting that as a direct result of a so-called black man being the primary decision makers in their family, as well as the primary breadwinners, where's the evidence suggesting that as a direct result of that, there's an increase in intimate partner violence, child abuse, poverty, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, if men taking charge are so bad, well then the stats would bear that out, but the stats don't bear that out. So what I have to ask is, what's really the problem here?
Women are in charge largely of Black America, and Black America is a nightmare. Just look at the cities Black women are in charge of. They're on fire. They're literally on fire. The cities that Black women are in charge of, these Black Democrat females. The problem, how can you be a woman demanding equality out of one side of your mouth, and that out of the other side of the mouth, you're asking a man to protect and provide for you? Men do not protect and provide for their equals. Grown men do not protect and provide for grown men, because men are equal. According to the Constitution, men are equal. How can you ask a man to be equal to a man that you're also asking to provide for and protect you? It's completely illogical on its face, but everybody's scared to challenge the Black woman, except some of the men in this space. And that's why I'm comfortable here, because there are Black men who will speak up. The entire country is terrified of American Black women, including American Black women. They are terrified of them. The only men that I know of that are not are the men in this space. Not all of them, but there's a contingent of men in this space that are simply not afraid. It is so refreshing and it is so wonderful. And that's why this space attracts Black women who listen but never say a word. Their nature draws them to men who speak without fear and who'll check the fuck out of them. Their nature is drawn to it. They'll talk all that stupid shit. Oh, you're mean, you're bashing. Nigga, this is what they want. They finally want to see Black men calling out their shit without fear, not acquiescing and bending and genuflecting to them. Believe it or not, this is what they want. Like I said a few weeks ago.
What was that last word?
What's that, sir?
What was that last word?
He said genuflecting.
Genuflecting, like in prayer to the bitch. It's ridiculous. And
I've never heard that word before.
Genuflect, check it out.
I have.
But,
I learned something. I learned something just now.
I learned from you too, GC. I learned from you too, sir. But there's that episode of A Different World. I talked about it a few weeks ago on Bernard's. where Whitley and Dwayne are in their apartment, the apartment Dwayne had with the light-skinned nigga, right? His best friend. Dwayne is leaving and he cusses Whitley out as much as you can cuss someone out on primetime NBC TV. Like he chopped into her, without cussing, of course, but he chopped into Whitley. He walks out of his apartment. Whitley closes the door. She turns around. She falls with her back against the door and collapses to the ground. She's in like orgasmic euphoria because Dwayne checked the shit out of her. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, like
I'm about to, and
pointed
they were
out.
saying, Big Kev, they were saying that your mic is not sounding all that Big Kev right now. They're saying like you sound like Lil Kev. They're saying your mic is low. I could
hold
hear you.
on.
But yeah, but no, I think it sounds better right now. Like, yeah, let me know in the chat. Push one if he just sound good when he was speaking right there. Now,
Okay,
I
can you guys
stopped.
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think you're
that's
good
much
now.
better.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
some
yeah.
ones. We got some ones. We good.
No,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because that's the point that I kept saying on your show, Bernard. It's like if you actually read the historical narratives and don't listen to any of this like woke Marxist horse shit, like there's no reason for the average brother to apologize and labor under the lie that he's a quote unquote misogynist that needs to be reformed. I'm like, who's gone out of their way to be more accommodating towards women than us? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop apologizing. And that's oftentimes what I was telling other people. I'm like, we look at these like political extremes, the far right, the far left, etc. They want you to literally just apologize as a brother for not being both super rich and white. And I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, you don't need to apologize for shit. Like, if you're not out here committing violent crimes or defrauding people or anything crazy like that, what the fuck do you need to apologize for? You know what I mean? Just for having just for being a man. Like, you don't need to apologize for shit. Hell, that's part of the reason why there was the so-called civil rights movement to begin with. So we don't have to apologize for that. You know what I mean? So, like, what the fuck is the point of all this kowtowing?
Right. All right. I stopped the tape
I do
just right
think
after the. Oh, go ahead, GC.
I do think that I don't think that she would mess with a guy even if he owned the bus.
Yeah, I was basically making that point too. Yeah.
Oh, you made that point? Yeah, I think that's just,
Well, it's nonsense because these women, what's her name? The light-skinned chick, something B.
Ebony
said,
K. Daniels or something. You talking about this chick
well,
on
no,
the
I'm
screen?
talking about a couple of years ago, and Kevin Samuels talked about her, something B. Taylor or something. She's a light-skinned bro, and she talked about how she didn't want a 9-to-5 guy. She wants an entrepreneur.
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Light-skinned chick with nice hair. Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
They want an entrepreneur. Do you think these women would be interested in a black man starting his own HVAC company? You think these fucking women would be interested in a black man starting his own industrial plumbing business? They think entrepreneurship is glamorous. All they want is glamour. If your job isn't glamorous, you're a Dusty. If your business isn't glamorous, you're a Dusty. You could make $10 million a year with a waste disposal service. It's not glamorous. You don't qualify for this one. They care about lifestyle more than anything. Lifestyle.
Well, it's an automatic humble, the whole entrepreneur thing. It really is, because there are many entrepreneurs that, in fact, most, if I could guess such a thing, that make less than somebody who works 9 to 5. However, they want to humble. Let's just say a doctor try to get into her pants, and she want to let him in, but she don't want to come off as she's head over heels and she's over eager. So she'd be like, "Oh, nigga, you're not an entrepreneur. You work for somebody. You work for Blue Shield or some crap like that." Like, they say that to humble you. Basically, whatever you are, they're going to pretend like they're attracted to the opposite of that. So, say you are an entrepreneur, but you're not rich at it. Say you're a locksmith and, you're building your business or something like that. You have your own company, but you haven't built enough clientele to where your business has really taken off that way, but you're an entrepreneur. They're going to say, oh no, I want a guy that makes at least this amount. They're going to say that to the entrepreneur. And then if they come across, a guy who does make that amount, then they're going to say, yeah, but I want an entrepreneur. They do that to keep their men humble. And the reason why Black women need their men to be humble, while other women are attracted to confidence, Black women are attracted to humility. That's because they're used to, over the decades, being pumped and dumped. And they're trying to get with men who they feel will not pump and dump them. And unfortunately, for them, they feel that that's the humble man. Yeah, it's unfortunate but true. Confident men tend to leave Black women, and that's because of the just general low quality vagina that they possess.
All right, let me get to some super chats. The standard RLC in the building said, "Are we going to finish the clip?" What Iyama said. Yeah, I'm gonna play that because I did stop it right after she said what she said. I mean, I didn't even play Iyama's response. I just responded. But
these last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
So we will get to that. We will get to that. Winton Bowen says her ex is a Brad. Yeah, I mean, she talked about that. She said she didn't say she's been with them all, dated them all, been in relationships with all. She said I've done them all. Like she's so yeah. She talked about a very base level when it comes to men that she's been with. But thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
Black
all right,
women.
Let me roll the tape. Let me roll the tape because yeah, some people perhaps didn't hear.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus,
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together.
All right. Go ahead, GC.
What's that word that you had, Little Big Nate, a moment ago?
Genuflect.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she wants. She wants to make sure that you are genuflect to the Black woman. That's what she means when she says good to his mama.
Yeah.
He must be good to his mama. What if his mama was a fucking bitch? What if his mama was Tupac mama? Why does that have to determine the quality of person that he is? Notice that they want to make sure that this man is on board, that he is genuflect to the Black woman. That is the only way. He must be good to his mama. They never ask, like, do we require that a girl be good to her daddy if we don't know if her daddy is a good man? We don't know if her daddy deserves a good daughter. You see, but she say that, one, because she's stupid, but two, because she's highly, highly, highly manipulative. She is. And three, I'm willing to bet that her son is a fucking bus driver. I'm willing to bet that. I'm willing to bet that the qualities that she is trying to sell onto this light-skinned chick is the ones that her 53-year-old son possess. Like, would you go out with a bus driver? But what if he really cares about his job and he really loves his mama? Read her. I'm willing to bet that her son is a bus driver and she's trying to get her son laid. I'm willing to bet that shit right now. That is what's going on in her manipulative brain.
Passport OG in the building. Shout out to the Passport OG. It says doing good work, Bernard. Do appreciate you. coming through, dropping something on it. Do appreciate you dropping. Think I did recently react to one of your videos. Somebody brought it up. Somebody gave me the link to it. Well, yeah, gave me the link to it when I was live on the air.
Pablo brought him up.
Yeah, Pablo gave me the link to one of your videos when I was live, and yeah, definitely you're doing good work over there too. Definitely doing good work over there too. So salute. So go ahead.
No, I was about to say, of the 50 years, of the 51 years that she has been an adult, she has only been married like 13 of them. That means that the overwhelming majority of time, like 38 years, she was single, and not one time did she fuck a bus driver. I don't want to hear that bull. I would date one. Bitch, you old and ugly as shit. Like, you'll date anything. How dare you talk about I would date one? Yeah, now,
yeah,
when you was back in the, first of all, you was never beautiful. But when you were hotter than whatever the fuck you look like now, you was not checking for bus drivers. And when you was that one chick said, what's her, Brandy, Ebony,
yeah,
when you was Ebony's age, you wasn't checking for bus drivers. You could have dated bus drivers your whole fucking single adult life. 69 years old talking about I date a bus driver. Get the fuck out of here. Of course you'll date a bus driver because he gets your meals on wheels. Kind of fucked up shit is this?
So you said she had to get to 65 before she lowered her standard down 69. To a bus. She's 69?
She is 69.
God
and
damn.
No, she don't owe me one. I don't want that shit. She is 69.
So she had to get to 69 to lower her standard down to a bus driver, and she's trying to put that on Ebony K. Williams right now, but knowing damn well if she was 39, or if she's still, I think Ebony chick said she about to turn 40 or something like that. So even though if she was 40 and looked like Ebony, she wouldn't have had a bus driver standard. This is her changing her rhetoric after the fact, after her career over, 69 years old, career over voluntarily. Now she's trying to smuggle in some Kevin Samuels rhetoric.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
She got red pilled by Kevin Samuels, and now she's trying to put it off on others like it's her wisdom, and she was like that the whole damn time. If you was like that the whole damn time, it'll be a bus parked outside your mansion right now, bitch.
Well, she'd have that first husband that she had. She had a decent marriage to her first husband.
Yeah, but she said that he beat me. Like there was rumors that he was abusive or something like that, which I don't believe. But you tell your son to stand in some bullshit. Why don't you stand in those ass whoopings, huh? How come the man got to stand in shit and you don't stand in it for the sake of the kids?
Well, think about this too. She was one of the main detractors of Shahrazad Ali when she first wrote her book.
I remember that. It was a video that surfaced where her and Shahrazad Ali was going back and forth, and then I think MTR did the breakdown of it, and he played the clips of her 30 years later saying the same shit that Shahrazad Ali was saying to her back 30 years ago. So yeah, she's come full circle. She's come full circle, or she just flip-flopping, one or the other.
What I take issue with is, we heard her talk about, you got to stand in your divine and your majesty, your queendom and your crown. Can Black American women just be a lady? Why are you jumping to queendom when so few of you are ladies? The simple concept of being a lady, a woman who doesn't curse. Let's be honest, a woman that doesn't have any fucking tattoos, a woman that is mindful of her image and doesn't do anything to damage it. Can you just be a lady? Can you focus on just trying to be that before you jump into your queendom with your crowns? Oh God, it's so stupid. Boyce Watkins has a channel. It's his most successful channel, Fly Nubian Queen. I mean, the stupidity of the name alone. He also had a Facebook page and a YouTube channel that he got rid of called Fly Nubian Kings. Nobody subscribed to Fly Nubian Kings. Nobody watched it. He got rid of it. Why do Black women require all this ridiculous, inflated, symbolic hyperbole?
Well, because it's low self-esteem. Basically, it's what people do to feel a certain way that they're not. You know, it's kind of like because you're how tall?
Me, 5'5".
You're 5'5".
Yes, sir.
If you really felt bad about being 5'5", you would walk around asking everybody to call you Daddy Long Legs or some shit like that. You know, like that is the equivalent to them walking around telling everybody to call them queens. They are compensating. They are compensating for the thing that they feel that they lack in. You know, and it's kind of sad to see. But there's also something else hidden, and that is, you know, an unwillingness to compete with even each other. Like when you have like a prom queen or something like that, you know, you're competing with others. You're competing with other women, and in the end it could be only one. But instead, they just said, okay, we're not going to do the whole prom queen thing. We're all just going to walk around with a plastic tiara on and demand that our men treat us like queens. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, the Black boy can be a prom queen now. I've seen several instances of that. So, yeah, there's that.
I'm not dignifying that with a response.
Yeah.
No, that's what the world has devolved. Bonobos. Penis fencing.
Yeah, but you make a good point about that, though.
We seen little nice heads.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but you made a good point about that, game changer.
well,
We said overcompensating for low self-esteem. Like, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Nate, new nickname, Daddy Long Leg. That's some funny shit. All right. All right, y'all. We about to get out of here. We passed the 2-hour mark. We about to get out of here. I know some people wanted the clip to play. There's the link to it. If you're not subscribed to the Griot and don't know where to find it, there's the clip. There's the link right there. If you want to go watch the rest of the video on your own, you can go watch the rest of the video. But we about to get the hell up on out of here. I might, emphasis on might, be live tomorrow. We shall see. That's yet to be determined. But either way it goes, thank you for everybody for coming on through. Thank you, JC, for being on the show. Nate, Big Kev, everybody, appreciate each and every one of you. Everybody supported the stream in any way that you did. Appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We are. Oh, I think I may have trouble ending. Hold on, let's see. Peace. We gone.